So I pulled the drive from the computer. This is the 14 terabyte I told you that I purchased on special. And I'm going to dupe it from here to here. Now, it has about 9 terabytes of information, photos and personal videos. And that probably, in the past I've done copy and paste. And in the past, when you do a copy and paste of that much data, it could take a couple of days. So with this duper, I love this thing. This is the Disc Jockey Pro. I've done a video on it. I've had it for a number of years. This thing is awesome, works very well. This is the source right here, and then the actual destination, which will be the one I pulled from the external hard drive. And we're gonna see how well it works, or if it actually even comes up. So let's turn it on. Press this copy, that's what we're doing. And it's gonna go through an initiation. Let's hope everything comes up. It finished initializing. We're gonna press the start button. Again, when you're using this, gotta make sure the source is that one. That's the source drive right here. This is where it's coming from, and what's on here to go to the destination drive, which is the one I pulled from the external hard drive. And I press start right there. Okay, it doesn't look good. It is 8:30 p.m. and that is way too slow. So let me see what's going on. It could be that power thing, and I may need to cover the first 3 pins. I didn't want to do that, but look at that. That's going to be a really long time, way more than 2 days. And it should have actually went up a little bit. So let me do the whole covering of the pins and hope for the best. 6.6, whoa. So I put my piece of tape to block the third connection to see if that helps. And making it a faster duplication. Okay, let's try it out. So let's press the copy and see what happens after covering the power. I know I forget what it is with the power. You cover those things and it helps initialize your drive. It just that the board that the external drive is in uses a different type of power. There's something about the power that you have to cover those 3 things in order to get it to work properly. So let's hope for the best. I forget exactly what it is. And do that at your own risk. I'm not a professional, so let's see what it says. We should be at 100. If it's 100, it's perfect. 6.6. I think I'm gonna have to do a copy and paste. I can't get it to work. It's just way too slow for whatever reason. I am using my Wavelink USB docking station, which is also a duplicator, and I was unable to do the 14 terabyte to 14 terabyte with 9 terabytes of data on my source drive that I want onto here, which are pictures and videos. And since I was unable to use the disc jockey, this wasn't coming up on the disc jockey, or I should say that it was only transferring at 6%, which would have taken weeks to do. We are actually, I'm going to use this. I'm hoping that this will work, and I've used this in the past, this duplicator. So I got it set up. That's my target drive, and that's actually my source drive. When you're using this device, there it is, source drive. When you're using this device, be very careful. I always turn it on and off before removing. If you go back here, you'll see the actual on and off switch. There it is, on and off. So make sure you turn it off. I turn it off. You know, the instructions are very difficult to understand. I'm gonna go and be safe. I'm gonna turn them on and off before I remove them. I don't believe that it is hot swappable, but that's what I would do. So let's do it. And it's finicky, so hopefully I get it correct. I haven't used this duplicator since I have the disc jockey, and I usually use that. But this is my backup, So as soon as the source and destination drive comes up, and again, what I did was I removed the USB because connected to my computer, it actually did not work. I couldn't do anything with the buttons. So I just disconnected it. It's separate. You may not have that issue, but I definitely did. So it's separate, and now I have the source and destination. Source, destination drives on. Hold it. There it goes. Let go of it right away. Press it again, and it should go right to 25. You saw that? Press it and you hold it until it starts blinking. Let go of it right away. I thought it was about 30 seconds, but it's only whenever it starts blinking. Let it go. Press it again. Let go of it. Then press it once again and let go of it, and it'll start charging. Okay? Or it'll start, I'm sorry, not charging. It'll start duplicating. So let me see how well the 14 terabyte to 14 terabyte duplicates. Again, I had to remove it from the computer to get it to work. So it took 24 hours to duplicate. Now, this is not OS, this is just data. So these two 14 terabyte drives, one of them is going to go into one of these, and the other one's going to go into this one. So it's one for each computer, and I'll have them at two separate locations, syncing with Google Photos, Amazon Photos, and Digoo. Now that the drives are totally duplicated and I double checked that everything's working, I'm going to start installing them on both computers. That's the external drive. That is the regular internal OEM drive that I had already. And since the computer stopped working, we're going to be using these as replacements. So like I said, I'm doing it at two different computers, and I'm going to have them at two different locations. So it's going to be pictures and vids, SRV1 and SRV2. So I'm going to fast forward because you'll be bored, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the SSD from here, remove it from here, take this tray, mount this tray to here, and then put the 14 terabyte in here. Let me see how, yay or nay, how it works. I got to figure that out. So I'm going to just fast forward, and at the end you'll see what I've done. I may just lay it out with a piece of Velcro on the SSD and stick it to this on the inside, and it'll be open, and that's it. Let me see what's better. But basically the 14 terabyte drive will be in here. The reason for that is I want easy access to remove. So that's my biggest thing, is that when I upgrade, and I'm hoping that will be up to 20 something terabytes when I need more space. Again, so I'm using 9 terabytes. So once I start getting to about 11 and a half, I'm going to have to start looking for additional upgrades, and I'll be looking at something maybe like an 18 terabyte or 20 terabyte if they're out. I know they're 18 now, but they're very expensive. So if I can get an 18 terabyte maybe for around $300, I definitely will purchase it. But hopefully by then they'll be up to 20 terabytes, and maybe the 20 terabytes might be worth $400. So that'll be in a future video. As for now, I'm going to fast forward showing you what I'm doing. So you saw that in fast forward motion. I just want to also show you something that I actually missed. I just wasn't paying attention. I was just trying to do it and I wasn't looking at what I was doing. But just to give you a heads up, so as you saw, I'm moving the SSDs in here within the case of where the DVD ROM drive or the area. I velcroed it to keep it in place, as you can see in here. You can see it, yeah. I just velcroed it. It's not a big deal. It's an SSD, so moving it around and everything's not going to be a big deal. But to remove this, to easily remove this, you just have to pull this, and it comes out from one of the sides. See the pin? And then this one also, and that way it's easily removable. That's supposed to be, yep, there it goes. Okay, so that's it, and then you can take it out. You don't have to go. I went the other way. I was trying to get it out of here and flexing this, but that, you know, you could break the tray. In doing that, again, the eject here, use that. All right, now let's set up the picture and video backup SRV1. The drive's not coming up, so I have to try the whole blocking the third pin. Do this at your own risk. I am not an expert. I have to put this piece of tape, I gotta cut it more, to block, to keep the, it's a power thing, so I don't know all the details, but I know you have to block this third one here, but it doesn't matter if you block the first two. Do this at your own risk. Let's see if it works and see if the drive comes up. If not, I'm gonna have to make it an external drive. I just want to mention that this is the drive that came from the external drive, and you usually have those issues when you are removing drives from external enclosures because of the way they're sold. They work differently. I haven't tried the other one. I'll bring it up and hopefully it does come up and read the full entire 14 terabyte on the OEM 14 terabyte hard drive I have. That's on the other machine. So as you see, the drive just came up. That's my second picture and video cloud backup, 14 terabyte. So after using both computers for well over a week, I'm very happy with their performance. They work very well. I've left them on to see if they reboot, restart, or anything happens while the computers are unattended, and they're working just fine, no issues whatsoever. TeamViewer, Digoo, Amazon Photos, Google Photo Upload programs are working just fine, no issues whatsoever there at all. Everything is up to date. It's just working really well. I'm running YouTube in the back. I've been watching some videos, doing some things, and everything again is working just fine with no issues whatsoever. This is some info on the computer. I'll have this at the end in the picture, well, in part 3 in the pictures. It's a Windows 10 Pro, and even at OEM, that's $60 right there just for the OS, processor, memory. It's working really well. I have absolutely no issues whatsoever. The Wi-Fi USB and the Bluetooth USB is also working well. They come up. I've connected Bluetooth devices, speakers, mice, keyboards, and everything's working just fine. The Ethernet, I have it physically connected, it's working fine. The Wi-Fi is working just fine also. No issues whatsoever, even though it is a USB dongle, but it is working and they provide it. What else can I say about the computer? It's a great computer for somebody, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, for mom, for dad, for young child that just needs to get on. You're gonna need a camera if you're gonna do any type of video chat like Zoom or Google Classroom or anything like that. When you're gonna need a camera, you're going to what is it? Oh, Microsoft. I forget their application. My son uses their application for school, and this will run it just fine with no issues whatsoever. You're not going to be able to do high intense video decryption or modifications of videos or high-end pictures or anything like that. This is for checking emails, surfing the web, watching videos, doing video conferencing. I haven't had any issues. Now again, going back to the 14 terabyte drive, just really be careful with what I did. That's a workaround and you do it at your own risk. It worked. The 14 terabyte has come up and stayed up. All the pictures and videos are in there. Everything's working just fine. I have no issues whatsoever. The computer is a great computer for $160. I mean, you can't complain compared to the normal price of a regular computer. So I'm sure that they're going to be sold out soon. I would say if there's a price tag to that, it's probably, this computer's probably worth about $300. So for $160, it's a great price. And it comes in a halfway decent shape. It just comes with the OS, no software bundle whatsoever like back in the day. But it does its job. It does what it needs to do. If you have a child that you need them to just do schooling or any non-intensive type things when it comes to these, you're not gonna run Photoshop and all that stuff on this stuff. But for the most part, for most users, it's a perfect computer. It works just fine. If you're using it for what I'm using it for, which is for one specific reason, it works fine. Again, I'm using TeamViewer, so I'm connecting remotely. I've decided to leave the keyboard and mouse here because I'm going to use this also as my media player for this computer. So I have the Apple TV, but if the Apple TV is missing something that I want to see on the internet, I'll just go and use this and it'll work just fine. But again, I've left it on for over a week, both of them. The other one's at another area, and they're both working just fine with no issues whatsoever. I'm really happy with my purchase, and I hope that this video, I hope you liked it. Like I said, the keyboard, not a great keyboard, not a great mouse at all, but a great computer for the price. Definitely for the price, it's a great computer. Upgradable with cards, PCI cards. Adding maybe USBs. You could probably add some USB 3.0s with some PCI cards. As for me, I'm just using it for this, and it works excellent, great, no issues whatsoever. All right, so I hope the video helps. I hope it was informative. I hope you liked it. Thank you.